going on, everybody? My name is Riley Welch from 92 Social, and welcome to another episode of the 92 Social podcast. Today, I have a gentleman that works well in my industry and vice versa. He's a web developer who also has a brand new book. We'll get to that a little bit later. So let me introduce to you from Omnius Web Development, Andre Roncia. How are you, man?
Great, man. Thanks. I'm glad to be on the podcast. Thanks for having me.
Ooh, no problem. So for people who don't know you, tell us about your business.
So I'm the CEO of Omnius Web Development. We do mainly websites, online strategy. I try to really focus on making websites for small business owners. It's really the main thing I focus on. And I've worked with a bunch of small business owners that have been very happy with the websites and sales they've gotten from their sites. So,
Right on. So how'd you get started?
Well, I was a big nerd in high school, and I taught myself web design just for fun. And I decided when I was in university that I would try to make some money off of it. So I started registered the business a long time ago, like I think almost 5 years now. And I was doing that part-time for a while. And for about 2 years now, it's been full-time, just fully doing Omnius Web Development. So just slowly, I think the best businesses, you just sort of start slowly, and then eventually you're like, I want to do this full-time and I love this, and you just dive into it. So
no, that's how I kind of started out, as part-time. That's how a lot of people, like you were saying, started out. It's more side hustle, and then you start to gain that client base, and then you start to gain that confidence where you're like, yeah, I could definitely do it. And then it's once you go full time, I talk to other business owners that are in like our level, our field, where it's more client based rather than customer based. And it's at the very beginning, they're like, I'm stressed, but it's a good kind of stress where it's like, it's all you, it's your hustle, and that you get you're more fulfilled doing what you're doing. And like, that's how exactly I felt too. And like, that is a big, like, again, you just have to start. That's why, like what you're saying, start part-time where you're not overwhelmed. You got to get your systems down. You got to get your mindset down. So it's a great method to kind of go by. But one thing that I do want to mention that kind of tease on top of the pod is you wrote a goddamn book. That's amazing. And being in the same industry or same level where you're answering a lot of questions about your profession, like day in and day out. And it's understandable, but it's also at the same time, like I just said the same thing 4 times. So the perfect website, grow your business with your 24/7 sales person. Tell me about the book.
Yeah. So I've always been someone that's wanted to not just work in the business, but work on the business. So I've always been interested in systems and sort of like seeing how I can automate things. And I figured there's really no better way to automate my business than to write a book explaining things that I repeat all the time. So I was saying the same things all the time to business owners. And I was like, obviously, a lot of these questions they have and things they want to know are relevant, not just to them, basically every business owner. So why not just try to sort of outsource that to a book and try to automate that process? And I think also another thing was I realized a lot of books on website design were either super technical, so therefore like maybe people like me, like actual website designers, and I wanted to make something specifically tailored for small business owners. And so I don't get super technical in here. I really just talk about the fundamentals. So 20 fundamentals in the perfect website specifically for small business owners. So things like copywriting, engaging visuals, and social proof. Those are the things I talk about in the perfect website. So yeah, I realized that there wasn't really anything like that in there. So I just decided over the span of like a month, I sort of knocked it all out. and then spent another month editing. So those 2 months, I wasn't really doing much else other than writing the book. But, I got it out in September and it's been going great.
Man, like I was saying just off camera, where I got as soon as I got this book, I kind of looked through it and landed on a random page and I read it I read like a good few paragraphs and I was like, I just learned more than I thought I would in a page. So it's like there's a lot of useful and information that's like, to your point, it can be understood by anyone in any industry. It's very simple, straightforward, but very, very effective. And that's a sign of a good book. Good book that, it's websites are like a beast in itself. And as you know, as I try to tackle a website like a few years ago, I was like, this is not my thing. This is a lot. And like having this as a guide can help you, especially as a small business where they're not really looking to invest in anything because they're more careful about their budget. So this is a great guide to kind of go off of. So what, like saying that, is that the ultimate goal for your book?
Well, so I'd say the number one goal for me with the book was just to educate business owners. If someone is going to work with me, the book isn't going to stop them. In fact, it's probably going to get them more excited. And if they weren't going to work with me anyways, then at least, I could make a few dollars off the book and they can get some value out of the book as well. So it's like some people have told me, oh, you're giving out all your secrets, in this book. And it's really not like that because it's like a personal trainer. The personal trainer can write a book. It doesn't mean the person is going to instantly lose all that weight. They have to put in the work themselves. So they can hire me to do that work for them, or they can read the book and do the work themselves. It's really like either you buy the personal trainer's book or you hire them to like train you and make your meal plan.
I think I said that like that metaphor like a few times already. It's not about like you can find the information if you put the time in, but there's a reason why clients hire people like us is to do that for them. So it's having that other option where if you do want to do it, come here. Everything that you need to know is right here, all in one spot. So for a small business that is like legit just starting out or is coming out of the pandemic, what is a quick tip to increase your web traffic?
Quick tip. So one of the things I always speak with business owners about is understanding who they're trying to sell to, because every business is going to be different. Every business is trying to sell different services to different people. And so if you want to increase your traffic, I think a lot of people make the mistake of just instantly going to, they search up how to find traffic online. And that's such general information, it's so vague. They have to start first with understanding who their customers are. And then they'll probably get some good ideas of where they're spending time online. And then I was speaking about this with a friend last week. It's like, once you know who you're trying to target, it's like, who do I got to pay to get access to these people? Like sometimes it's, you got to pay Facebook, maybe it's LinkedIn, maybe you're going to pay someone that owns a newsletter that has your target audience. So once you figure out who your target audience is, it's really just about understanding, okay, who owns this attention, and then crafting a unique offer in your ad. So it doesn't really have to be anything crazy, but I saw an ad the other day that was just, I think, amazing. It was like for a jewelry company, and it was like, if it snows on Christmas Day in the North Pole, you get all your jewelry for free. Like we reimburse you for the jewelry. And it's like an offer like that probably just blew up. And it doesn't even have to be something crazy like that, but it just a combination of something that makes people stop, a unique offer, and just putting that offer where people are hanging out, like that's going to get people to your website.
Damn, yeah, that's a that is a great tip. So with the great tip and having the book answering all the questions you've been asked, what is the most common question you've been asked that's answered in this book?
Most common question. You know, the thing I did with this book is I sort of knocked it all out, and then I did revisit it in 3 months. So
or what is a common question that you face as a web developer in general?
I think one of the most common conversations I have with business owners is they're like, I'm too busy anyways, like I don't need more people, like that's, I think you get that as well, like why do I need social media management? I'm already booked full. Because a lot of business owners these days, depending on the industry, they're completely booked full. And so that's a common conversation I'll have. And what I say to those people is usually you'll probably be booked full, but that doesn't mean you're booked full with the right people. So you might be just booked full with these small projects that are just sort of keeping your head above water, and they're not really your ideal clients. So what I say to them, especially, related to my business, is a professionally made website that helps qualify visitors is going to get you more of the right business, instead of just, you might be booked full, but it's not the right client. So that's what a professional website that's going to filter people through and attract the right audience. It's more focused.
Yeah, I 1000% agree with you. Just because you're busy, like you being booked up, yeah, that's fantastic. But at the end of the day, is it the right people? Is it the right like audience that you want to be in your store? And sometimes that is kind of lost in translation when it comes to business owners, where it's, you have to think about the bigger picture, where it could also lead to different businesses that can lead to different opportunities. And there's more to like a website than just a web page, or like having a link to their socials. There's a lot more to it, and that a lot of people don't fully understand. And that's where, having the book is a good way to teach them, like there's a little bit more than you think. So with that being said, where can people find this book? Where can people purchase it?
Yeah, so the number one spot would be amazon.ca. I think if you search up the perfect website, it's just going to come up. Also, if you go on my website, is where I'm selling the ebook. So I'm not selling the ebook on Amazon. I'm selling it through my website, and my website is omniuswebdevelopment.ca. It's a bit long, the domain name, but yeah, so you'll be able to find the book there, and the ebook is $9.99 on my website. The paperback is $14.99 on Amazon.
Beautiful. And if a potential client is listening right now, what's your email? What is the email to reach you?
info@omniuswebdevelopment.ca.
Beautiful. Well, thank you very much, Andre, for coming on to the 92 Social Podcast. A very informative podcast, learning a lot more about how websites are important nowadays and how it ties well with small businesses, and to kind of educate. So yeah, thank you very much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, my pleasure.